this as part of you. Regard these as conditions, sometimes beyond your control. I want to be very successful. I work very hard to be successful, but at the same time, I am aware of the fact that this vision of success is not necessarily realized. And since I have, I made a distinction, I think that early on. If you quest for meaning of self-realization, even if you're not successful, the possibility for you to be satisfied with yourself is great. If you want to be successful as a precondition for finding your meaning of life, even if you become successful, you're not necessarily happy. If you fail, you'll be miserable. If you know yourself, you know I work at it. I don't have any regret that my work is not up to the standard that I expect myself to be able to do, even if you fail, if you're comfortable. Or at least not necessarily satisfied, at least say, I've done it. So the case of Confucius, the idea is that he knows it cannot be done, and yet he's obligated to do it. I know what I cannot, I know what I cannot do, but I still work to do it, work hard to do it. I know no matter how hard I try, I'll not be able to transform the world. That's too idealistic. I may not to become the most important thinker of my generation, even though I have this aspiration. And if I fail, if I work hard, and I know because my intelligence, because external conditions, I fail, and that is not something to be lamentable. If I try to cultivate myself, and as an intrinsic value, even if I'm not successful, I don't have any real regret. So Xunzi, I call him a paradigmatic Confucian master because he knows what the way is, and he has a way of helping us to learn. And he knows he's done a great deal of work for the transmission of culture, systematic inquiry in the classics. He's a practical person, very much involved in transforming the world in practical sense. What is aim? What kind of society, what kind of vision that he considered worth developing, worth struggling toward? He believes that society will become harmonious, not because there's no difference. So a clear distinction will have to be made between sameness, uniformity, and harmony. From the legalist point of view, and of course from all the authoritarian, despotic societies, the idea is to hopefully transform each human being into an obedient person, or each human being to be a tool for the state. So uniformity is absolutely critical. The legalists would say that only two kinds of profession that are important: the farmers and the soldier. The soldiers who defend the country, may be involved in aggressive warfare against the enemies, and the farmers are absolutely necessary for the maintenance of the survival of the society. And the farmers and the soldiers become these two professions totally unified. A soldier, this soldier is like the other soldier. This farmer is like the other farmer. So the kind of harmony, we can of course talk about harmony because there's no tension, no conflict. People are involved in this process, of course, under tremendous pressure, or political pressure from the outside. From the Xunzian point of view, it's not harmony. It's uniformity. Harmony without uniformity is real harmony. And so he's opted for harmony, which we can call it organic solidarity rather than mechanic solidarity. Mechanic solidarity, for example, if we have a rule, for example, what's the difference between liberal arts college and military academy? If you imagine, say, West Point as an organization, the emphasis is the discipline every cadet will be disciplined in such a way, if you look at them, the same height, same kind of discipline, same kind of orientation, and same kind of commitment. This kind of discipline is necessary. Uniformity is necessary. After you achieved that level, you may have some freedom of expression when you become a lieutenant or general. Even then, you're under a great deal of chain of command to conform to a particular order. A liberal arts college, in the very beginning, all these people have to express themselves differently. And yet, important for a liberal arts college to develop certain kind of order. That's harmony. That's the real sense of harmony. This is, of course, deeply rooted in Chinese culture. And earlier, an example, many people use that example, is cuisine. And one ruler mentioned, I and my associate, actually a minister, reach such harmony. We can do things together. It's in perfect accord. So this Yan-ying, a great minister, that's not harmony. That's uniformity. You give the order, the person follows. So totally synchronized. You say, what is harmony? Let me tell you. Harmony is like cooking some kind of meal. So you have to have many, many different good ingredients. If it is only sweetness, or only salty, and you don't have it. You have all kinds of ingredients, and they blend together. You cook with a slow fire, then it's delicious. That's true with painting. You have to have many colors, and try to. And of course, the word harmony, etymologically, meaning the how the word came into being, the history of the word, which is basically musical. It's a musical image. A symphony orchestra will have so many different instruments, and they play together. That's harmony. And if you have one instrument, of course, sometimes you have non-accompanied play, but even then, there's a great deal of harmony involved in the play. So harmony, which means all kinds of different things put together. So the opposite of harmony is uniformity. The necessary condition for harmony is difference. And of course,